Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Rankin. Today I've got a good panel of guests here, and we're all going to be ranking SCHMOEDOWN people. And to start off, we've got the host of the summit here, Kristen Smith. How are you going, and what got you into SCHMOEDOWN?
Hi. What I don't remember what got me into the SCHMOEDOWN. I was just watching schmoes, and then they did it, and I was like, "Well, this is cool." And then they kept doing it, and I was like, "Good," because it's still cool. And so then they did tournaments and stuff, and then I watched them.
And also we've got here another member from Tape 3, probably the biggest Bibiani fan that I know, Chris Clark. How are you going, and what brought you into the SCHMOEDOWN?
I'm going fantastic, Malcolm. I'm excited for this show. This is going to be a fantastic romp. What brought me into it was actually Robert Meyer Burnett. I've been a fan of his since I was a kid. My dad loved his movies, and I discovered him through Heroes, and Heroes I discovered through that. I found out about the SCHMOEDOWN when they were promoting it. So my first SCHMOEDOWN was Wolves of Steel vs. Heroes, Rob's first match that they were promoting on Heroes, and that's where everything started for me.
And next up, we've also got, also from Take 3, we've got my tag team partner in Real Ride Movie Games, Manning Franks.
Howdy! And I'm guessing you want to ask me how I've turned it out. All that jazz. I was watching the SCHMOEDOWN show. It just kind of like it happened. I think they were having teams matches for the first time. I'm not sure what exactly brought me over. I'm not sure if I saw the SCHMOEDOWN show through Screen Junkies, but somehow, for some way, I got shoved right into the SCHMOEDOWN where they were doing the team matches. When you had top 10 come in for the first time, you got profiles. You got formerly known as Team Machinima. All those good people just coming around. That was my first introduction to the SCHMOEDOWN. So I've been here. Not since the very beginning, but pretty close.
And also, we've got a couple of guests here. We've got Jeremy Hastings, JDH. How are you, and what brought you into the SCHMOEDOWN?
I'm doing great. The first time I noticed SCHMOEDOWN, I was just casually looking through YouTube on some Saturday morning. Always been a movie trivia guy, and I came across this match, John Roca versus Scott Mance, and it looked very interesting. The production looked very top-notch. So I tuned in, and I got hooked ever since by the Bespin debacle, and it's come all the way to me running off camera like a fangirl grabbing a shirt that Chance stole from me. But overall, can't wait to take part in this list.
And last but not least, we've also got Chance and Titan Ellison here. Chance, how are you, and what brought you into the SCHMOEDOWN?
I'm doing good. Glad I could be here for the launch of this series, and what got me in, I think it's Manning that said it. I used to watch the SCHMOEDOWN live show, and I remember one time they're talking about this Ultimate SCHMOEDOWN they did once. I was like, what is this? So I found the playlist, and I literally binged the entirety of the 2014 SCHMOEDOWN in one day. So I was ready for the 2015, and I've been a watcher ever since.
Good. And I'd just like to say hi to in the chat, late to the party, who are sitting in the chat watching.
Hey, Rob, Vanessa.
What's up, Robin and Vanessa?
There we go.
Now, how the show works, we go round in a round robin style, nominating who we think should end up in the top 12. Then, once we've reached 12 people, then we rank them in the order by voting on the whiteboards. I'll probably remind people of that when we get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And also, everyone's got a veto rule, and so if say Chris thinks Humberto Gonzalez should get into the top 12, and but everyone think, but at least but it's a free tie, and the veto rule changes one of the no votes to a yes, and he gets in based on that. That doesn't mean he secured a place in that final 12. It just means he's in that 12. And for someone to get in, they have to get 4 out of 6 votes.
Interesting.
And I'm actually
Okay.
And I mean, I'm going to start with the person I think I know who's going to. Do I know who he's going to bring up first? And I'm going to throw it to Chris Clark to do the first nomination.
So do I do my number 1 first or my number 12 first?
Whichever one you want to throw out first.
It's the same guy.
Oh,
it's the same guy either way.
It might be the same guy either way.
His number 1 through 12 is just Bibbs.
Well, thank you for spoiling it, Kristen. I'm gonna say we're gonna kick this off right with the best guy in the league, the guy who can stand for 2.5 hours having to pee and still can answer trivia questions correctly. His name is William the Beast Bibbiani. He is my choice to be nominated here. I am curious if anybody on this panel right now is voting Ixnay on the Bib say. So I vote. I have William Bibbiani right here in the forefront, leading off the show.
I'm going to kick off the votes and saying, yeah, he belongs in the top 12. JDH, what do you say?
Absolutely, I think his knowledge is unmatched only by a few people. If you're talking about overall knowledgeable people, he's got it. So I think he absolutely deserves to be on the list.
And Kristen, are you going to keep Chris in a good mood?
As much as I hate to see Chris in such a good mood, I do think that Bibbs deserves to be on the list of at least the top 12.
He's so happy. Look at him.
He'll get one.
Doesn't matter what happens the rest of the show, he's happy.
Well, he's in that top 12 now, and Chance, your vote didn't count. What would have you said?
Yeah, I begrudgingly say yes. I'm only begrudgingly because I hate seeing Chris Clark this happy.
And Manning, what would you have gone?
Oh, well, I love seeing Chris Clark this happy. He would have been a big yes for me, for Bibbs specifically, because he's been a staple for the SCHMOEDOWN for a long time.
I'm probably going to be, this is the only happiness I'm going to receive today.
Probably.
Chance, your vote didn't count last time, so you can make the next nomination.
Chris... No. Sorry, I thought you were done. My bad.
Oh.
I did want to remind Chris, late to the party, says that they beat Bibbs. So
Robert.
Now back to I'm sorry. Back to Chance.
Anything to bring down Chris Clark is okay to interrupt me for. So yeah, the person who it's the obvious answer. I'm wearing a shirt right now. The greatest singles player of all time, Dangerous Dan Murrell. I mean, this is a dude. He came into the league, hit the ground running, won the championship, kept that. He's the greatest single champion to ever grace the SCHMOEDOWN. Sam Levine pending. We're gonna see how he turns out. But either way, he's possibly the most dominant singles player to ever grace the SCHMOEDOWN. So I think he absolutely deserves a spot in the top 12.
So Chris, do you think Merle belongs on the top 12?
I would be insane if I said he didn't. He's on my list. Dan is a monster. He deserves every sense. The fact that he's not retired anymore, I think everybody who we would have, I don't think retiring is an issue anymore. So, yeah, go for it. Dan Merle all the way. There's no way to say. I wouldn't be a fan if I was going to say no. So, yeah, Dan Merle all the way.
Kristen, Dan Merle, what do you think?
Yeah, so he's definitely on my top list, so I'm going to vote yes. Where his placing is as of last year has actually changed, but, that's not his fault.
And Manning, what do you think on Dan?
I am in the same boat as Kristen. He is on my list, and his placement has changed, whether it's gone up or down since the time that we have seen him. We'll find out as we continue along the show. But he has my vote for this one because he's just done so much for this league and just such a I can't say he's a beast because that's Bibbiani's title. So let's call him a dangerous man because that's his nickname. Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Thank you.
If you want to use an animal comparison, I guess you could say he's the goat. But
Go. Right.
But with that vote, Merle makes the top 12. Unsurprisingly, JDH, your vote didn't count last time. What would reviewers said?
I mean, come on. I kind of said at the beginning, if I didn't vote yes for the person that maybe run over there and grab a shirt, that yes is on a mantle for everyone that was wondering. It would be absolutely insane of me to.
It's
not
just
say
a shrine.
Yes.
Yeah, like a damn Roll shirt, Screen Junkie shirt. X'd out picture of Jurassic World.
And I would have said yes too. And I'd like to part have a message for Chance in the chat. They says once Chance is in the league, everyone will be on notice, including the GOAT.
Completely agree with
That's just rumors right now. Nothing's official yet.
Yeah, this is true.
JDH, your vote didn't count last time. Who's your pick to be nominated next?
Well, I'm going to go with the person that I think is by far the most complete player that has appeared in SCHMOEDOWN so far. I'm, of course, picking Rachel the Crusher Cushing. I think by far, she's easily going to be the first player that's going to get a title shot in 3 different leagues. I think a year ago that would have been absolutely unheard of. And she has pretty much shown that she pretty much has no weaknesses. And as I said, probably best all-around player in the league. There's no reason that she does not deserve to be on this list.
Yeah, I'm going to go next and say it. Yes, she belongs on the list. I mean, for all the reasons that JDH said. Kristen, I think you're a big Rachel fan. What would you say?
I don't even think that's a question. Just move along.
Chris, is that a yes on Rachel?
Oh, of course. What Rachel, she's recently had a match where she's beaten somebody 20-5. I think she really is a force to be reckoned with, and Rachel in the Inner Geekdom especially, even in singles, she has so much charisma, so much passion, and she really cares about this game. So, if you don't think Rachel's in the game, I don't think. I mean, if you don't think Rachel is a contender to be one of the top 12. I don't know how much episodes of the SCHMOEDOWN you've actually watched to not come to that conclusion. So yeah, Rachel is a definite.
And Rachel makes the top 12. And Chance, your vote didn't count last time. What would you have said?
Yeah, I definitely would give her a yes. She's the Crusher for a reason. She's an absolute beast, and yeah, no, she absolutely belongs in the top 12.
And Manning, what would you have said?
Manning.
Yeah. Yes.
What would you have said on Rachel?
Oh yeah, if you want to, absolutely yes. That's what I was saying. Absolutely. Because if you want to, yeah, I was giving a long-winded answer. Yes, she's evolved so much as a competitor. We've seen and really come into her own that she's someone that just kind of like continues to go on season by season. So absolutely.
Totally.
And actually, back to you, Manning. Who do you want to nominate next?
Okay, that has to be said. The outlaw himself, John Roca, must nominate this man who still has my favorite moment in the SCHMOEDOWN when he finally won the championship. Huge fan of the Outlaw Nation, huge fan of now. Well, you know what? You know what? Yeah. It's too late. I can't think right now. I don't have any witty comebacks. But yes, no. He is someone who has put so much passion into this game by far. We want to see someone who's put blood, sweat, and tears. John Steven Roca has done this. Look at the top 10. Look at their chemistry. Look at someone who just wants it and cherishes this belt. Even if he doesn't have it, his storyline is always on point. And now with the return of the Five Horsemen, of the Resurgence, I'm looking forward to him. He is the person I am putting here on the table.
Yeah, and I'm going to go next because last time we did a top 10 list, I completely forgot about him. I do not know why. So I'm going to say yes, just in case John Roca is watching. So yeah. Kristen, is that it? What do you say for John?
It was Chris who made that snappy comeback about Roca not having the belt anymore.
Did I?
Was it?
No, it was. It was Chance.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if it was you, then I would have like a snappy comeback. No. But I can't say anything because Merle. It's okay because Merle's only had one belt before, and Roca's had a couple. There you go.
Merle's held on to belts.
Of course, John Roca deserves to be on this list. He's John Roca. He basically invented the Schmoedown without actually inventing the Schmoedown. What would the world be like without John Roca? Yes, 100%.
And Chance, what do you say about John?
Yeah, I know it seems like I'm digging into. I know it seems like I'm digging into Rook a lot more than I mean to. I truly do believe that he's one of the most important people to come to the Schmoedown. I will say that he brings a lot of personality, brings a lot of fire, brings a lot of passion to this whole thing. He's not in. I'm not gonna say where he is in my ranking so far, but I definitely think he belongs on this list.
Chris, your vote didn't count for this one. Roca, what do you say about Roca?
Well, it's a good thing it didn't count because I actually do think he actually does deserve to be in this top 12. Look, John. I as much as he has now an inferior horseman than he did previously. The fact of the matter is, he was part of my favorite faction of all time, and he started that.
You best not be talking about what I think you're talking about.
I am. I think the 4 horsemen are better than the 5 horsemen. That is honest to God what I think, because my 2 favorite players were on that faction. It was fantastic. It was perfect, and John just brings that charisma. But on top of that, in all seriousness, without Bespin, we wouldn't have the Schmoedown. The Bespin incident is what made the theatrics of the Schmoedown what it is today, and it gave John that drive to kind of make the Schmoedown, kind of the theatric part of it, what it is today. So all props to John. So yes, John.
And JDH, what would you have said about John Roca?
I wrote his name down on there 2 seconds of his name getting brought up. So yes, I knew he was going to get on the list. He absolutely deserves to be on the list, and rightfully so.
And Kristen, who do you want to nominate next?
Okay, so I think we would be remiss to not nominate someone who is currently holding both of the belts at the same time and has very quickly taken over my number 1 spot, actually, and that would be Sam Levine. So
let me just put Sam Levine's name right now in the voted in contenders, because I don't foresee this.
I don't know how you can't put him on the list. He's literally the only person who's ever had both of them at the same time. And besides the fact that he came back from one of the worst Schmoedown seasons that you've ever seen to basically be undefeated in 2 separate leagues and get both belts, it's hard to argue that this guy does not belong in the top 10.
Chris, is that a yes for Sam?
As much as I wish that Linus could be miserable, and I would not have him on the list to make Linus miserable, the fact of the matter is Linus couldn't make this stream to watch him cry. So the fact that I couldn't see that and experience his turmoil and his torture, Sam is on my list. Sam is an amazing, amazing competitor. He has 2 belts, and by golly, he beat William Bibbiani in a singles match. That earns my respect. And Bibbs famously said in an interview with me, actually on Take 3, that Sam was during the Ultimate Schmoedown his avatar moving forward in the Schmoedown. So the fact that Sam beat Bibbs, it kind of felt good that Sam finally won the tournament, which means Bibbs kind of in spirit won the tournament. So props to Bibbs. You can come at me all you want, but in theory, technically, because of Sam, Bibbs also technically won the Ultimate Schmoedown, but that's a different discussion.
Very different discussion that we should have at some point.
Yeah.
So JDH, what do you say about Sam?
This is kind of tough because Sam's at least on my honorable mention list. Come on now. I mean, of the 4 people that we have on this list, Sam beat 3 of them en route to winning the Ultimate Schmoedown last year. So yeah. I think it's pretty evident that he absolutely deserves a spot on here. I won't go as far as to say number 1 like someone else has already said, but absolutely deserves to be on the list at least.
And Chance, What, Sam?
You know, it's funny. Had we done this list like a year ago today,
Nope.
I might have fought you on this, but the fact that we do live in an era where Sam Levine is just he's gone on like a power run from Ultimate Schmoedown to now in both teams and singles, getting to both belts, being the first singles player to get to 10 wins. Yeah, I'd be a fool to say he doesn't deserve a spot on the list. So yes, Sam Levine absolutely, and the fact that he was on Freaks and Geeks also helps. So yes.
Manning, your vote didn't count because I mean it was pretty much formality anyway. Would you have agreed with everyone and Sam?
Co-sign it. I co-sign everything Kristen said. Co-sign it. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're agreeing way too much on this.
Well done, man.
It's not number one, but co-sign it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said yes too. Let's just hope he doesn't go into any Geekdom Styles because he could have all the belts and all the records.
It's officially halfway. We have 6 contenders so far voted, and we only have 6 slots left.
Who's the 6th?
6? I've got 5.
It's Bibbs, Merle, Cushing, Roca, Sam. Oh, Sam and Levine are 2 separate names. Oh.
That's his first and last name.
Well, I mean, that's next. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me on my pick. I'm going to nominate Christian Harloff. I mean, he created the damn thing. He's the reason that we're all here today talking about it. So, I mean, like, he may not have had a good record in that himself, but I mean, just for creating it, he belongs on there anyway. Kristen, what do you think?
Don't go to me first. This is a difficult position because on my entire list, he's at the like very, very bottom. So he's on there, but I don't know that I would have nominated him this soon because there's a lot of people that you are leaving off this list if we include him. And I'm having a really hard time including him over the other people on my list right now because I don't know that some of these people are going to make it on. So I'm having a hard time with this one. Why?
Oh, this is fun to watch.
I don't know how everyone else is voting on this one. I am going to say no just because in the grand scheme of things, creating it is all well and good. But if we're talking about competitors only, just the competition itself, he hasn't really shown up to play. I think it's, he wants to focus on being commissioner or behind the scenes commissioner. And he wants to focus on getting the matches to be where they need to be. And, there's a lot of other people who are really showing up. And so it's hard for me to include him on here.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Chris, do you say yes or no to Harloff?
Well, I mean, he did have a great revenge tour, and that revenge tour was epic as F. And he did get the belt, although he did lose it to Sam Levine at the Spectacular through probably a very lackluster championship match just because of fatigue. I think he created this, and to me, the creation thing, the created by thing, is what makes me say yes. Like, without him, none of this would be here. So, I mean, it's the God syndrome. Without him, we wouldn't have anything else. So I'm automatically saying yes to Christian.
Yep. JDH. Harloff is on the table. What do you think?
I mean, Chris kind of stated what I was going to say. I mean, that revenge tour that he had is probably one of the best runs that anybody has had going into Schmoedown. I mean, knocking off someone like Bibiani, which I didn't think was possible at the time because Bibiani had just come off such a dominant performance against Elliot Dewberry, then beat Jeff Snyder, another victory I did not think he was going to attain, then beat Dan Murrell, another match I didn't think he was going to get, and then, of course, I started rooting for him, and then he loses to Sam Levine. So he's kind of like the exact opposite of everything that I thought. But I think a lot of people are just looking at his last match and kind of holding that against him, but Chris did bring up the fatigue thing, which I absolutely agree with. So, yeah, I definitely think that Christian deserves to be on here. Former team champion, former singles champion. He's done pretty much everything that can be done in the league right now.
Manning, what do you think on Harloff?
I'm gonna be the villain here.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
I love Harloff as a host, but this is SCHMOEDOWN Competitors. Let us not forget. He is, to me, one of the embodiments of the league in and of itself, and someone that I will always be grateful to. Someone who literally birthed what this thing was, which we are where we are here today. But as a competitor, he's retired for the longest time, and as Kristen said, there are other people that I really want on here that I'm going to fight for. And while he is on my probably top 15 list, because he's one of those that I still love, this is a competitor. I love him as a host. He's someone I always appreciate and will listen to as a host for the flagship of the SCHMOEDOWN, but that's a no from me.
So, Chance, that leaves you to be the
Sorry,
decider.
Kristen.
This is
Okay.
a tight one.
Let's see. This is... I think people are vastly underselling Christian Harloff, because you look at like what he did in the 2014 tournament, or the 2015 tournament, where him and Ellis won and grabbed the championships, and even after that, the amazing run he went where he beat Makuga, Signor, Bibiani, Snyder, and even went on to claim the title. I think, look, even aside from his contribution as a commissioner and as a creator of this whole game, even just as a competitor, I think he absolutely belongs on this list. So I'm giving Christian Harloff a big yes, he makes it.
That's fair.
It's okay. Me and Manning are alone in our principles.
He made it by the skin
Yeah.
of his teeth. Holy crap! I didn't expect that.
Hey,
I mean-
there are some other people on here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was to clean my karma from the last top 10 list. So, so Chris, it's gone full circle. Now back to you. Who's going to be your second nomination?
Okay. I kind of. Okay. I'm gonna do this. All right. I have a lot of arguments for this. All right. So, this guy is a former Inner Geekdom champion. All right. He's held the belt, but he's also in teams. He has a 5-2 record. That is a better record in teams in total from Heroes and Blofeld's Cat combined than a lot of really top tier teams now. So I feel like, and since he's a former champion and he's my brother from another mother, I'm gonna go Robert Meyer Burnett. Please, guys, I urge you to vote yes for him, or I will drop you from this call, and you will be forever banned from Take 3. That is a threat. No scallywagging here. But in all honesty, Robert Meyer Burnett, I am nominating. Good God. Let's do this. Robert Meyer Burnett.
That's all right. You're going to change it to Take 17 a week later anyway.
No.
So, Chris, what do you say about
She says
Rob?
yes. She says yes.
Let me just say, he's
says
got
yes.
a 43% accuracy rating in singles. Blofeld's Cat only had a 2-1 record, which isn't really that good, and they had a below 70% on that one. And if you're talking about Heroes, it was actually a pretty decent team, but still only about 60% accuracy rating. And yeah, that's just a bye, Chris.
No, this is not happening.
I'm sorry.
She votes
It's a no.
for it. She votes for it, Malcolm.
It's just a no.
She says
Sorry.
yes.
He has not performed at all since way early last year. If he can come into this tournament for Inner Geekdom and play well, like,
He got
I
a
might
question right in
think
free for
about
all.
considering it.
He got me a
He got
fantasy point in free
a
for all.
question right at free for all.
Yeah.
I'm going
I guess that counts for something.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to take the next bullet here. I mean, records-wise, he's not that stellar, but
yes.
But for entertainment value,
Yeah.
he's fun to watch. I mean, he always brings it with his entrance, and And I actually liked him when he was got complete heel and gone all crazy. So
yes?
I did have him on my wish list, so it is a yes.
Woo!
Malcolm,
Yes! Yes!
Malcolm, why would you do this?
Yes! Yes!
I'm going to throw it over to Chance now. What do you say about Robert My Burnett?
Chance, please.
Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, he's entertaining to watch.
He said yes. See? He just said yes.
Don't take that account.
So that's
Also, are we not getting just the fact that Chris used the word scallywagging? But either way, he's a good competitor. Not competitor. I'm sorry, I misspoke. He's good in the sense that he's entertaining to watch. And anytime we have a cut to an hour of Burnett, it's always entertaining. But he has been able to replicate the success he had when he won the IG belt, so I'm gonna give him a no.
Okay, that's bullshit because he said yes, and he said he's a good competitor in the same thing.
He said he misspoke. Move along.
Move along.
Manning.
It's not that hard, Manning.
See, it's a little bit hard because he's probably one of the most entertaining people to watch on the SCHMOEDOWN, period.
This is competitors, not entertainers, man.
But SCHMOEDOWN is more than just answering questions. It's also showmanship, and this is as one of the greatest shows as.
No.
Don't you dare.
So this ain't happening.
If I say no, I'm going to drop from the call. If I say yes, everyone's going to hate me.
I said no, and I'm still here, so.
But I'm like, yes, so okay. It's a no. I'm sorry, Clark.
Oh, thank God.
You had me on the hook. You had me on hook, line, and sinker.
I know. I was debating within myself.
Jeremy's the deciding factor.
Well, actually, no, because there's 3 no's, and Jeremy will just make it a tie. So.
Just makes it a tie.
So, what would you have said anyway, JTH?
6 months ago, I might have said yes, but then he did the most unprofessional thing by going through with a handicap match to beat up on poor Rachel. That was unforgivable for me.
That was the best match ever.
Take that. I suck you through the camera. I mean, it was just such a mean thing to do, and he failed as a gentleman. He had the chance to do the gentleman thing, and he threw it all away. So that it would have been an absolute no for me.
Oh, sorry, you guys. Is that the first rejection?
That is the first rejection.
Okay,
no.
then I'm gonna say
You carry that with you, buddy.
Who are you gonna nominate next, Chance?
I'm kind of sad having to nominate this person just because it's going to bring a lot of joy to a certain person, which not UGTH. I find it makes me feel bad inside to bring joy to this person, but I got to bring up the first singles champion, the first 2-time champion in singles, Mark Yodi Riley. I mean, he's someone that should not be. I'm surprised it took us this long to get to him, but he's someone that should not be ignored. So, yeah, Mark Riley gets my next nomination.
Chris, are you going to bring joy to a certain Matt and say yes?
I couldn't bring myself to put Mark Riley on my list over everybody else on my list. Mark Riley is a fantastic champion, a fantastic competitor, but he sadly did not make my list. I don't really have a reason why he didn't. I felt like there were 12 people that I think are better players than he is. I love Mark as a person, but I don't feel like he professionally, professionally speaking, I don't feel like he, compared to the rest of the people on my list, I can't put him over anybody else, sadly. So I would be a no. And Matt crying is also a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it just because I like hearing Kearns cry from a distance, but it's got to be said.
Wow. JDH, what do you say about Mark Wiley?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Chris is actually not too far off from what I was thinking, because he had an incredible run to start with, but I think a large factor of that had to do with the fact that the talent roster had not built up to what it is now. Once the talent started to become much, much more, he went 500 in his last 6 matches in singles. Yes, did get a championship along the way, but definitely did not perform at the same level that he did early on. His team run with Wolves of Steel, honestly, was also a little underwhelming also. They should have done much, much better than they should have. I can't really understand why they wouldn't. Don't do that, Manny. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
But he barely made my list. I have him at 10 on mine. So if we're doing top 10, top 12, I'm going to say yes. But unfortunately, he did slide down for me through the last year. So he would have been a lot higher going into this if we did this last year. So, yeah, but he still deserves to be on here, yes.
Yep, so Kristen, what do you think about Wiley?
I literally don't understand this Wolves of Steel thing, because they set the all-time point scoring record like twice in that tournament. And the way that they lost was by having one of the highest scores of all time. Mm-hmm. How is that not a good performance? They got into a title match. Like, they were a solid team. They were a solid team. He is a solid competitor in singles. Just because he hasn't shown up recently, you guys included Christian Harloff, who hasn't shown up recently. I mean, he had his revenge tour, but if you look at Riley, he had a really great team run that same time that Christian was doing that revenge tour. And I would say that his team performance was way more impressive than Christian's revenge tour, because Christian's revenge tour, a few of those people weren't, I would say, top-tier competitors, and the Wolves of Steel played way good teams. So the only way that a team could beat them was by scoring by scoring a ton of points. Like, I mean, it's just, yes, he's a yes.
Or if Real Rejects decided to hand off.
Honestly, Wolves of Steel should have lost to the Real Rejects.
They should have.
I'm going to go next. Kristen said everything that I was thinking. I mean, how can you leave Wiley off the list? He's a 2-time champion. I mean, he's done a lot for the SCHMOEDOWN. I mean, everyone is saying he should be one of the first SCHMOEDOWN Hall of Famers. So, I mean, he's been there for a while. He deserves to be on this list. Manning, it's pretty much going to be down to you.
Yeah, no, he's in. I mean, he's not high on my list, and he's not my number one. That's Kearns. I'll leave that to him. But he's definitely making on. The guy's been a champion for the same belt twice, and he's always been consistently just that good. Sure, he's had his off days, but he's also one of the most entertaining people to watch in the sense of just an overall around hero, a face of the SCHMOEDOWN, and he's someone I would definitely say, yeah, he's going on there.
Now, back to you, Kristen. Who do you want to nominate next?
I do not know how we've gotten this far without nominating Jeff Schneider. How have we gone this far without nominating one of the two Patriots? I just don't understand. He should have been much higher on people's lists. I think people forget that he's actually a very strong singles competitor as well. But you look at how long the Patriots held those team belts, who they played against to hold those team belts as long as they did. They played pretty much everyone except Merle, but that's because he didn't actually play very much in teams, to hold those belts. He pretty much played every single person off on this list, and he's beaten almost every single person on this list. He should be nominated. He is one of the best competitors in the league. And if you talk about in terms of entertainment, like the fact that we haven't nominated anyone from the Lion's Den is a sin.
He was actually going to be the next one I was going to bring up myself. I mean, like the teams one alone is enough to get him on the list. So it's a yes for me. Manning.
You're muted, buddy.
Whoops, sorry. As I was saying, forgive me, Kristen, for I have sinned. I have not put the Lions Den on the list because it's the Lions Den. I'll wait for someone else to do it, and you did it. And it's like, as much as it pains me to say, he's a really good competitor. Yes, he'll go on. I'm not happy about it, but he's a really good competitor. Crumbles to myself. Lions Den are good. They're really forced to be reckoned with.
Chance, what do you think about Jeff?
I think he might have been my next nomination. So yeah, I definitely say he should make it. He's really, as a singles player, he's really underrated. I think just because, he kind of gets lost in the shuffle, but you really forget just how good of a single competitor he is. Like, he's really well rounded, especially like his running teams. It just can't be ignored. He's my favorite half of the Patriots. So I definitely say he belongs on this list.
Yep, so Jeff has made the list. JDH, your vote didn't count last time. What would have you said?
It would have been my next pick, too. I think we're all just going to say that to just butter Jeff up. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with Chance. I mean, his singles run does kind of get forgotten just because of how well he does in teams. But, I mean, he's about to have a number one contenders match with Viviani, which go Bibbs. Sorry, Jeff.
Go Bibbs.
Follow me on Twitter after that. But, yeah, I mean, he's absolutely deserving to be on the list.
Someone who I know really loves the Lions Den so much. Chris, what would you have said?
No, absolutely not. I'm not even joking. Hell no. Nope. They fired the best player in the league. Go away. They fired a former Inner Geekdom champion. They're dumb. So, no.
Yeah.
Keyword being former.
Wow. I heard that.
So, Jeff has made the list. So,
I'm going to update
JDH, what is your next nomination?
This is interesting because I know we put a lot of people on here that have paid their dues so far. So I'm going to go the other direction now because I want to see where people stand on this right now, because even though he's only started playing this year and he's only had 3 matches, I think we do need to start considering him as already being one of the top players, and that's why I'm going to go with Ethan Irwin. His accuracy rate is off the charts. What he did in the free-for-all, if not for the fact that Viviani went a bazillion shit-tillion rounds, he would have been the marquee player of the free-for-all as well. So there's absolutely nothing that he has not done so far in the brief time that he's been here that does not say that he does not deserve to at least get consideration for this list. But I think he definitely deserves to be on the list too. So I'm going to throw Ethan out there.
Ooh.
That's a goodie.
Yeah, for the reason that I think he'll be a good challenge to Merle, I'm actually going to say yes. It's an interesting pick. I mean, it's going to be one that's going to be interesting to see what everyone else thinks. But yeah, I mean, he's done so well in his 3 matches. And yes, Kristen, what do you think about Ethan?
I can't. 3 matches is 3 matches. It's not enough to place someone in the rankings, and we have still people who need to be on this list who aren't on this list. If it was like he was the last person and I thought, you know what, everyone else who deserves to be on here is on here, then maybe. But it's been 3 matches, and he only plays in 1 league, and that's not his fault. He's new to the Schmoedown, but there are people who are still not on this list who have played in all 3 leagues, and it's kind of difficult for me to put him above some other people right now. So that's a no.
Manning, what do you think on Ethan?
Yeah, his match between I won't spoil the outcome, but it was very good between Irwin and McQueenie. It was an excellent matchup. I don't know why I hadn't seen it, but it was an excellent matchup. But even with that, even with a great performance like that, I still can't give him that, because we still have so much to see, because even when other competitors have come in out of nowhere, with Sam, when he first came in, we were thought, oh, he's cool. He didn't blow him out of the water. And now look at him. He's now taken over this by storm because we waited. We've seen exactly, he's tested the waters. Ethan Irwin, while I'm look out for that guy in the future. But at this point, no, not yet. Not yet.
Chris, where do you stand on Ethan?
I was having a few technical issues. Okay, so with Ethan, actually, we were at free for all and we saw what he could do. He was an unknown to me and Chris when we saw him, and I would be a hypocrite because I have somebody on my list that has only had a handful of matches, but I think should be on the list. If you know who I'm going to say, you know who I'm going to say. But the fact of the matter is, Ethan is a knowledge machine. He knows what he is, like me and Frank on the rundown this week talked about how well he is and how he's almost 4-0 after the. He's really on his way for a #1 contender shot, and he is gonna probably be Rookie of the Year. So I do have Ethan on my list, so it would be a yes from me.
Chance, you've put me in this position so many times. You're the decider.
Oh, thanks, Dick. This is tough. This is really tough. Now I know how you feel whenever you're on my show. It's just tough because, like, I think Ethan Irwin, without a doubt, my favorite competitor of the year so far. Until Dan Morrell comes back, then it's him again. But yeah, I think he's come in. It's funny when we first heard Ethan Irwin versus what was her name again? I can't remember. Yolanda Mikado. Yeah, Yolanda. I was like, who is Ethan Irwin? Then I saw I didn't know who he was, so I saw his picture. I'm like, oh, he means trouble. And sure enough, he came in, he wrecked shop. I was right. He's a great competitor. My biggest hang-up is I think he's a little too green. I think he's a little too new. Have we been doing this in like a year from now and had he get more experience, maybe a title shot or 2 on the way? Yeah, I just think there are other competitors that deserve a spot more. So Ethan is one of my favorites competing right now, but I got to say no.
Okay. That's fine. I just thought he was really interesting to bring up this conversation right now because I want to.
No, it's absolutely worth bringing up.
So he got denied.
He did get denied.
Manning, it's your next nomination.
Thank you. I'm trying to remember who we have not. Aha! One of my other top ones. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but I've always talked about how the Schmoedown is theatricality mixed with trivia knowledge. It's someone that you want to continue watching, and it's someone that you want to watch because not only are they good, but they're just entertaining to watch. And you guys, if you saw my reaction to the big twist, where I nearly walked off screen, or I did walk off screen, my nomination is caps up. Because not only was he a champion of the Star Wars, he gave us one of the best heel turns nowhere. Yes, he's the Lion's Den, and why Ken? But from that heel turn, we got one of the most shocking moments in all of the Schmoedown history. And he's been consistently a Star Wars competitor. Yes, he might have messed up the live event in and of itself with that Luke shorter than a Stormtrooper thing. Why? But in and of himself, Ken is just one of the has become one of the best mouthpieces in all of the Schmoedown right now as we speak. He's someone you entertain who is just fun to watch, someone who's actually good at Star Wars trivia. And actually, he was pretty fantastic. When he and Rachel went up against Team Action and they had sudden death, still one of my favorite matches of all time. He knew his stuff. They complement each other really well before he broke our hearts and turned to evil. But Ken is my choice.
Testify.
So, Chance, what do you think on Ken?
This is tough because I do love Ken Napzok as a personality. He's actually one of my brother's favorite competitors, just because he loves Star Wars and all that. But he's a great Star Wars competitor most of the time. I'm gonna lean slightly towards no, because I think there are more talented players that we're leaving off. So, Ken, you're one of my favorite mouthpieces in the league. If there was an award for best on the mic, he would definitely be in contention. But as far as competing goes, I'm gonna lean towards no.
JTH, what do you think about Ken?
This is tough because I got the Nerds Watch shirt on, very short-lived one that was on TeePublic. This is tough because obviously, half the people on here just shot down Ethan Irwin. Ken Napzok altogether only has one more win than Ethan Irwin does. 2 team victories, 2 Star Wars victories, has not recorded a victory in singles.
1 Star Wars victory.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Only 1?
He lost in the teams. He lost. No, because he got the belt.
He got the belt, and he has not won since.
He lost the Iron Man match, and then.
Yeah. Okay. So he has just as many wins as Ethan Irwin. That's an even worse case to make. And you can make a case that the 2 wins that he got in teams was a major reason was because of Rachel and how knowledgeable she is. So 100%. On his own, he has just not put enough together to make me warrant that he deserves to be on the list, especially being the majority of his knowledge is in Star Wars, a very, very niche league. Yeah, I got to go no.
Breaking my heart.
Chris, what do you think about Ken?
No.
That's it.
Wow, no explanation. At least
No.
I explained for Art Meyer. Wow.
No. You know why.
Kristen?
You know why.
Yeah, I know why.
It would have been a no for me as well. And while I do think that he is one of the more talented people on the mic, and I do think the theatricality comes in really strongly in the Schmoedown in terms of the actual play. I mean, yeah, I mean, he is the thing is, he is really a dominant Star Wars player. It's just, he's got a bad record in Star Wars. I mean, that is his league, and he has a negative record in it. So it's really difficult for me to include him on this list over some other people. So that's a no.
Yeah, and with that no, that's it. Napzok's been denied, and it would have been a no for me as well because he turned on one of my all-time favorite players. So
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, at this point, anyone we bring up is going to be very tough. But I'm going to try, because looking at this list, we've only got 1 female on here. So there's 1 more that I think should be on here. And whether or not this one comes on, I don't know. I'm going to nominate Brianne Chandler.
Wow.
Her entrances are always entertaining to watch. When she came back at the free-for-all, I believe she only missed maybe 1 or 2 questions, and she ended up winning that.
I don't think she missed any.
I don't know how.
She missed 1.
She missed one.
Oh.
She missed one.
Just 1.
Yeah, so I mean, it shows that in her break since before, when she left at the end of Spectacular, I mean, she's obviously been stunning. She's fun to watch. Her entertainment, and I mean, and she saw the light and turned away. I mean, I think Brienne should be on this list. Kristen, what do you think?
Okay, so you're putting me in a tough position because she is on my list, but she's well below a couple other people. However, you guys included Christian because he's the creator, basically because he's the creator of the Schmoedown. She's basically the queen of Patreon, which is the only reason we still have Schmoedown right now. So how, in that regard, if you guys are going to include him over other deserving competitors, then I think she should be included. But besides the fact that the Patreon thing, she is kind of like the definition of entertainment in the Schmoedown for me. I mean, like, people put the guys on there because they can talk loud, but you look at entrances, you look at, you know, everything, like the heel play and everything, like there's just really no comparison for me in that regard. And she, you know, she has shown that she can play very good games. I think if we're going to include Harloff, then, you know, I think that Brienne deserves to be on. And I see you in the chat, people who saying he's won multiple belts. Those were in the old format, except for the one that he won off of Dan Murrell in possibly the worst Schmoedown match I've ever seen in my life. But we'll not talk about it.
Yeah.
Repeated.
Are we not going to talk? Whatever.
Chris, where do you stand on Brienne?
Well, I actually had her on my list as well. She is the reason why we have the Patreon, why it's going so well, and why we still have the Schmoedown. That is a factor. But also, just being there for free-for-all, and how much she cared about the match and everything, and just how much she just cares about it, the whole thing in general. She's behind the scenes. She does a lot of stuff for other competitors that most people aren't aware of. She's very giving, and a lot. I'm forking her up onto this list as a yes, because it's not just what's on screen that you see that counts. And I feel like behind the scenes, Brienne is a wonderful person, a wonderful human being, deserves this, and that's all I really have to say. She does.
JDH, where's your vote going for Brienne?
I've been kind of going back and forth on this because record-wise, as long as she's not playing like Kalinowski, she tends to always win. I mean, I think she pretty much... Does she have an 0-3 record against Kalinowski? 1 team match and 2 singles. When she's not playing him, she actually pretty much wins everything. The free-for-all, I think, was really the turning point for me as to why I think I'm going to put her on here. When she beat the likes of Ethan Irwin and Bibiani straight up to win that thing, that was such a shocking moment for me. That was something I never would have expected. And she did it in dominant fashion. I mean, it is not like something you would consider a fluke by any means. She won it outright. I mean, very convincingly. So I think Brienne does deserve a spot on here. So I'm going to say yes.
So locks her in, right?
Wow, yeah.
That locks her in.
Okay, then.
Chance, your vote didn't matter last time. What would you have said?
I would have given her a no.
Simple as that.
Manning,
what would you have said?
I might have said no as well, because the Patreon thing to me does not count, because that's not competitor. It's the same thing as Christian starting the league, being a host. That does not count in of itself. Plus, I'm still bitter about Kin, so I'm just going to say no to everyone else from now on.
Okay, then.
That is what we call the Polo Yama. Chance knows what I'm meaning by that.
No, it would get... Because we're inching down, there are some people that I still...
It's one of those things. It is going to be one of those cases. It's going to be really hard. So.
There's only 3 spots left.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, Chris, will your next nomination make the list? It's back to you.
All right.
Whitney, no.
I'm not going to bother with Whitney because that'll just be a waste of time.
Ooh.
No.
Because I'm going to go with Whitney Seibold from Critically Acclaimed. What we're going to do here is this. Everybody, I'm nominating Whitney because, look, you have Critically Acclaimed. They've only lost 1 match, and they've been in the league for almost a full year. They've been in the league for... They've been in the league for a full year, and they've only lost 1 match.
Because they've not played very many matches.
Well, look, it's not just that. Just Winnie has the knowledge, and he compliments Bibbs a lot. And we've already said that Bibbs deserves to be on it because of his knowledge and the fact that he knows everything. So, fact of the matter is, Winnie knows just as much as Bibbs, and I'm struggling to make a case here. I really am struggling to make a case here, but yeah, no, that's not my actual pick. I'm actually going to do something serious because I know most of you are going to say no to that.
And I already wrote down no.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
Okay. But
I like him, but sorry.
He needs in a couple matches, but you know what?
How do you?
I have this though. He's the one, the only, the Godfather, Drew McQueenie. I am putting up. He is part of Above the Line. Needlessly, I don't need to say anything else. He has proven time and time again that he knows his stuff, and him and Sam have gotten point record after point record, perfect round after perfect round in teams, and he is just a juggernaut in the league. It's Drew McQueenie. He's up to bat right now. So, Drew McQueenie. Did I just kill everybody?
No.
A little bit.
No.
GDH, Drew's on the table. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he taking this long to get on here, but it's a definite yes for me. I mean, his run in the Team Ultimate Schmoedown was very, very memorable and very, very convincing. Other than the fact he's kind of started to lose a little bit of steam in singles, but he's still getting tons of questions right. He's still very knowledgeable, and for me, I think that's what qualifies to be on this list. So absolutely, I will say yes.
Yeah. So Chance, Drew, what do you think?
He's definitely the scariest Schmoedown competitor. I'll say that for sure. This is tough though because like his singles is not. His team's career is great. It's phenomenal. He's one half of the duo that beat the Patriots, which wins extra points in my book. Also, but singles is left something to be desired. This is tough for me. Surprisingly, because he's really good, and I think it's because he's been really just like unlucky with questions and categories. I'm gonna slightly edge towards yes. I'll give McQueenie the go ahead.
Yeah. And before I go to the next one, I just looked out of the chat. Yes, he's one more.
Isn't it 4 votes?
It's 4 votes, yeah. I looked down at the chat just before, and who should pop up about the time we were talking about Brienne is Brienne. She was in the chat earlier.
That was the most controversial pick to be on the list, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
no, he got a lot of love, and people are disagreeing.
Oh, on the chat. Okay. Well, sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Brienne says it's cool, guys. She only won free for all, so she's.
Yeah, Levine.
We included other things other than just wins and losses.
Other than free for all. And
I said she deserved it.
We're all just like, she's on the.
I would have said yes.
So Kristen, what do you say?
My dogs are giving my answer for me because if you made the point of there weren't enough females on the list, and I agreed with you, but I think that Clark Wolf deserved to be on the list over Brienne, and that's not because I don't like Brienne. I just think in terms of trivia knowledge, that has been shown, because I know Brienne knows her stuff. Like, obviously, she knows her stuff. She only missed the one question at free-for-all, and she has shown in her matches that she's very good. I just think overall, in terms of records, she's done a better job. She has a higher accuracy rating, all that stuff in stats. But I think in terms of what she brought to the Schmoedown when she entered it, in terms of being like that top competitor, the first top competitor that was a female, the first one that got, the chance to get that belt. She really deserves to be on this list. The fact that she hasn't been in the conversation yet kind of hurts me a little on the inside.
Wait, I thought we were still talking about McQueeney.
Yeah, we're talking about McQueeney.
Oh, well, I don't think Drew should be on the list. I think Clark Wolf should be
Okay,
on the
then.
list.
Oh, we need it.
Okay.
Oh!
I thought it was my turn next because I haven't nominated anyone in a while.
Oh.
Well, we hadn't finished talking about Drew yet.
Oh, well, I think he should, but he's not above Clark Wolf or my other 4 people still on the list above him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, shit. Then there's only 2 spots left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, next.
So,
Who's nominating next? Because I don't know.
well, I'll throw it back to you because you're already given who you're going to nominate.
Sorry. I don't know what the order is, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but first we'll go to Manny.
If there's an order, you feel free to throw it to the person who's actually on the order. You know who my next person is.
Yeah. So, Manny, what do you say about Drew first?
If Clark was gonna say Whitney, I would have responded to him and quoted you and just said no with a response. But he's not. He picked McQueeney, picked the Godfather. So I'm in the same boat to where there are other people that because McQueeney can be when he's come to play, he comes to play, and he can be an intimidating force in the Schmoedown. But at the same time, lately he, besides winning the belt, obviously for teams, single-wise, even in the free-for-all, he didn't do as high as probably some other competitors. And that in of itself, I am dubious about putting him on. Because if I say no, that means I get to leave it to some other people. Because, see, the problem is I have other people that I know will be shot down. So I'm thinking, but they'll be forced to. So you know what? I'm gonna go no. Let's see what happens. Let's have some fun. You know what? Hate me, chat. Hate me.
Wait, could Manny really take McQueeney off this list? Holy shit!
If I said no.
Oh.
If I said no.
It's going to be down to me now anyway.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay,
legit
you know
thought he was
Let's
already
watch
on the
world
list. Like,
burn.
I already wrote him
Let's watch the
down.
world burn.
I'm like, my
That's
opinion
right.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is hard.
Come on, Malcolm. Don't make me have to erase marker.
Oh, chaos. Chaos.
I'm going to say, going to slightly edge towards yes. Even if it does mean Linus is screaming happily somewhere.
Hey, not a bad competitor to have on there.
Yeah.
So it's 3-3, isn't it?
So, yes. Now it's down to you, Chance. There's 2 spots left.
Oh, okay.
That's you to nominate. We go, yeah.
All right, got it. So McQueeney made the list. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So there's between 2. I know Kristen's gonna bring up the other one, so I'm just gonna go with my other one. So I'm gonna go with the best Inner Geekdom player in the league right now, or probably has ever been. Of course, talking the champ, Jason Justice Inman, who let's we forget he wanted to be in the OG Inner Geekdom match, but Christian sadly did not let him do it. And I sincerely believe had he been in that match, he would have been champion from the get-go, and he probably would have held it up until this point anyways. So I do think that IG, he's probably the best player in the league right now, and even aside from that, he's had some really good wins in singles and was part of a really great team in Team Track. So yeah, I say Inman definitely belongs on this list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I mean, he's really dominant in the geekdom. He's probably the only one which could probably really give Rachel a run for her money, because Rachel proven in her last match she knows a bit about Star Trek, so that's not really a weakness for her now. So I'm going to slightly edge towards yes. Kristen, What do you say about Justin?
Yeah, I'll talk about him and not about the person I want to nominate this time.
Sounds like Clark Wolf.
I'll talk more about Clark Wolf because she's awesome. No, I do have him on my list. He's not the next person on my list or the person after that, but that's fine because I don't know that I can get past this round in order to get the person I want on here. That's fine. But yeah, I do think he does deserve to be on here, given how just dynamic he has been in Intergeekdom. I mean, you look at the competitors that he had to face really early on, and I'd say that those have been the strongest Intergeekdom competitors that we've seen. Are just the ones who he had to beat to get that belt. Nothing against some of the newbies, but I do think that the original Intergeekdom crew are the strongest out there. So he really has been dominant in that. And then he did have a really good run in teams. They haven't showed up recently, but I think, the past performance with teams, I think you should hold that into account as well. So he's a yes for me.
Manning. Justice. What do you think about it?
There are two other people I have above him that I want to go. I can't deny he's a great player, and he's someone who, unlike Ken, has gone outside of his own league to prove he has a lot of his own merits in and of himself, and has held the belt. In fact, Trek almost won, or they got to the finals. They were at
They almost beat the Patriots.
The championship, to beat the Patriots. They lost.
It was the great Eva debacle, and of course,
they should have won that match. But we'll move on.
Yeah, but and that in itself proves he has the merit outside of simply just Intergeekdom. Intergeekdom itself is a large breadth of knowledge, but the more I'm talking, the more it's kind of like, do I sacrifice other people that I want, knowing this is a good competitor who will be on it? I think me and Kristen have the same person, I think, where we want to add next. So if by all means, if we can get at least that next person up there, then yes, I can't. He's yes. I gotta have an Intergeekdom in here somewhere besides just Rachel herself. Just show some representation.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and go next. But no, I haven't said anything about Jason yet. Yeah, I'm going to slightly edge towards no, just because there is people I want to try and get in there. One of them is going to come up, and who's probably managing Kristen's same idea there.
I thought you were giving Jason a yes.
I said no to Jason, so JTA.
How many no's is that?
Chance nominated. Manning said yes. Kristen said yes.
You know.
And
okay.
I don't. I think you and JTH still have to go. So.
Okay.
So Chris, what do you say to Jason?
That smile. That smile.
Okay. Preface me this. I did not have Jason on my list. No. I had another Intergeekdom player I think is better than Jason on my list. Not Burnett, not Rachel. I think Washington deserves to be on here more than he does. Just because of in singles compared to his what in singles he was amazing. He beat Robert Meyer Burnett, which is huge. Inman has never beaten Robert Meyer Burnett. He's lost every time he's gone up against him. So what I'm gonna say is this: Jason does not deserve no. So no, I don't have him. I have two other people. I have Washington and maybe somebody you guys are gonna nominate, but not Jason. Honestly, he's not there, but he's in the thumbnail.
He is.
That's cruel. That'd be cruel.
Oh God.
I mean, at the moment, there's only one other person in the thumbnail that might actually miss out on getting on there. JTH.
Well, that's going crazy.
It's down to you.
Rightly so.
Come on, JTH, do the right thing.
Come with me. Do the right thing.
I mean, his inner geekdom run is undeniable. While his singles run and his team run have, kind of dwindled over the last couple months, I think his inner geekdom run alone, I think, is more than enough to have him on the list. And he's one of those complete players that we were talking about with Rachel. While I think Rachel is a slightly more complete player, I think, Jason definitely deserves enough credit to be on this list just by the attempt of trying to do all the leagues. While not as good as Rachel, I think is more than enough to put him in the top 12.
So, Inman makes the list.
By the skin of his teeth, yeah.
Kristen, tell us why Clark Wolf belongs on the list.
Okay, so this is because now there's only one spot left, and I think there's two people who really deserve to be on the list, and one of them's not going to make it on, and this is difficult now. Because when I thought there was still 2 spots left, then it was fine. Because I do think I do think to be on the list, and I'm in a quandary because she has never held a belt. And it's hard for me to leave this person off the list, so I'm going to change my answer to JTE.
I mean, Rachel Cushing hasn't either.
Yes, I know, but I think Rachel has shown that she's dominant in all the leagues.
Tell us about JT.
Yeah. So, I'm removing my vote for Clark Wolf, and I'm really sorry because I do think that she deserves to be on this list. I think she deserves to be on this list above like 3 people we put on this list, but whatever. How can you not include him? He has a 9-1 record in teams. His singles is arguably not good at all, but he did
arguably?
He's below 500 right now. I'm saying he has a lot of really good singles wins, but his singles record is not so great in terms of actual record and actual stats, because he had a very bad year and then he followed it up with a very good year and a phenomenal showing in teams. So it's very difficult for me to not include him in this list. I think he should have been included above a lot of other competitors. And I am changing. I think so strongly about this. I'm changing my reasoning away from Clark Wolf to JTE because I think it would be hard for us to not include someone who had the amount of wins he had in teams. It's just how.
And that's Kristen with a JTE out of nowhere. JTH would have gotten that reference. JTH, what do you say about JTE?
This is hard because he lost to a swimmer.
It's true. It's true.
He created one of the most shocking moments in SCHMOEDOWN history when he lost it. It's just, Kristen did say he's had some impressive wins in singles, but he's also had some dumbfounding losses in singles. Losses that really don't make any sense. And he also lost to Clark for that matter. So, I'm regretting that you actually changed your pick to JTE because I think Clark should be on here over JTE if there's only one left. So I'm going to have to go with no.
Did I forget to mention he's got a rule named after him?
That's not really a good thing.
No one else has a rule named after him.
There's a freaking reason enough.
So, Chris, JTE beat Bibiani. Do you think he belongs on this list?
No. No.
Shocker there.
No. He's on the Lions Den. And you know how I feel about what the freaking Lions Den did at Spectacular. So, no. N double hockey stick. Well, that doesn't spell no. That spells nalala. But, yeah.
No. No.
So, Chance, what do you say to JTE?
Boy. This is hard. This is really tough.
I know, because you were all set when you thought it was Clark Wolf.
I was ready.
I know. Like, yeah, I want her to be on the list too, but I didn't get my way. I'm sorry.
I think between the two, you had a 50-50 shot. I think you went the wrong way. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate to do it, but I actually think Clark belongs over JTE, and I'm going to say no. Betting your vote wouldn't have mattered anyway. What would you have said?
Well, it wouldn't have mattered. But Paul in the chat had a fantastic comment. It says he dragged Finstock to a title shot. He's not wrong. He is not wrong.
He is not wrong.
And that is myself. So I guess Kristen and I are on the same wavelength tonight. She gave a great argument looking back at it. I would have probably said yes because he's just been in here so long. He's inconsistent, but when he hits strong. Sometimes he's carrying Snyder in a match. Sometimes Snyder's carrying him. His team record is undeniable. I'm not having the other half of what a team that I may despise but have to respect. I have to say yes, but my vote means nothing.
We get a save, right?
If it's 3-3.
If it's 3-3.
Yeah, I'm using my save on this one.
Said,
I feel
Manny said he dragged Finstock to a championship match. Anybody can be Finstock's not a player. Finstock's an enigma. Anybody can be Finstock.
He needs to be in this list. I'm sorry. I'm using my save on him.
So you're using a veto on JT?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Was there something else that was 3-3?
No.
Certainly not our Burnett.
Wait. Robert Meyer Burnett was 3-3. If we remember this correctly.
Well, you didn't call your save on him.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking me? Oh, whatever. It's okay. It's all good.
I would have done that on Ethan if I'd done that.
I would have done that on Rob. Oh, God. Wait, that sounded wrong, but no, I don't. I'm actually kind of peeved. I want to challenge that since we didn't know about it.
You can't challenge it.
Yeah, it isn't the SCHMOEDOWN.
I want to challenge.
You said the rules at the beginning of the video.
I want to. How about we all vote for this? Should we have it? And this is so.
It's the rules. Everyone's allowed one save. I use mine.
This isn't fair. Okay.
I'm sorry that you guys didn't listen to the rules.
With Rob at number 1. Oh, okay. I think
it's right. It's right. It gives me something to work on with the next show because I mean maybe next time, like after each pick, I should.
It's up to everyone to remember the rules of the game.
Yeah.
This isn't fair.
Sorry, that pay attention.
So that is the 12. JT Kristen save JTE.
Wow.
I never thought there would be a day where I would be the one who nominated both of the Patriots for this list.
Yeah, I know. Betray the Outlaw Nation.
Right, so that leaves our 12 nominees. Harloff, Roker, Cushing, Sam, Jeff, Drew, Brienne, JTE, Mark Riley, Bibiani, Jason Inman, and Dan Merle. Now, time to go do the fun bit and actually rank them. So, grab a bit of paper, whiteboard, pen, cat, sandwich, whatever you want to write on.
All right, let me go grab it. Right back.
And what things in it.
I got screwed. Rob got screwed. I think the top 10 should be Bibbs, Merle, Cushing, Roca, Levine, Christian, Riley, Burnett, Snyder, Brienne, McQueenie, and Inman. We could have done this.
Had you had your way, it would have been Bibbs taking up 4 spots, Rob Burnett taking up 4 spots, and Winnie taking up 4 spots.
Yeah, I should have fought for Winnie. How many people actually would have said yes?
He'd have been on there too.
Was anybody going to say yes?
I would have said no.
I would have said no, just because he hasn't had a singles yet. We've only seen him exist in teams.
He needs more. He needs more team.
I really wanted to be in singles.
Yeah, I do. I want to
Yes,
see
I
that
do.
Tim Franco versus Whitney match, which I almost nominated.
Ooh,
And-
Miss Movies.
and-
Wait,
And yes,
Miss
Brienne,
Movies
it
has
is,
a. Okay, you go ahead. No, you go ahead, Malcolm. You finish.
and yes, Brienne, it is. We do have 12 spots on the sidebar. The bottom two are pretty much the honourable mention slots, and then we're focusing on the top 10, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so the 12, the two are the honorable mentions. All right, so you guys better not be putting bibs there. So we need to figure this out.
I don't know who's this. I don't know who's
I
already got mine.
I think everyone has maybe has their 12 written down. So, Chance, who are you putting in at number 12?
I feel bad for this just because I do like her as a competitor. I know she's watching, but Brienne Chandler.
JTH, who do you have at number 12?
Same thing. I got Brienne.
Chris, who are you voting in at number 12?
It was one of the other two. I said JTE.
Kristen, who are you voting in at number 12?
I also have Brienne, and in the chat she says it's her lucky number. So.
Oh well, there you go.
There you go.
Yay!
Betting, who are you voting in?
I would have said JTE because I need to have one lion's den down there for.
Well, I mean,
sake.
Brienne is going to be number 12 no matter what. But
Yep.
I actually had Harloff
Wow.
that number 12. I mean, that's where I had him on my initial list.
Oh, that's all right.
So Brienne is number 12, eh? There we go.
I don't know why I raised my whiteboard. Write down who you want to vote as number 11.
Do I want to make Chris mad?
Do you want to be unfriended?
Yes.
No, I don't. It wasn't a good movie. I don't want to be on it.
12 is her birthday, her daughter's birthday, and birthday.
Wow.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
It's
Only,
actually not pushing.
Brienne just said it's only
Only
because I'm in
nine-
the chat that I'm here.
Actually, you joined.
It's actually not. You're already on the nominated. You're already on there after I noticed you were in the chat.
Yeah.
Anyway, my number 11 on that, I've actually got. I know he created it, but I've actually got Christian Harloff at number 11. Kristen.
I also had Harloff. I don't have a paper, so I have a list written.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I also have Harloff.
Manning, who do you have?
See, I went back to JTE.
Chance.
Manning and I are on the same page. I also have JTE.
JTH, who do you have at number 11?
Not to be confused with JTH, I also have JTE.
Wow.
Chris.
I had Snyder.
What?
Oh.
Three votes JTE. That's it.
JT makes number 11.
Malcolm, you're a little low. Was he a little low for you guys? Audio-wise? Or
A little bit, but not
Okay.
terribly.
Yeah.
So we got JTE at number
11.
11.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It happens.
Jete.
We're voting on number 10. I'm going to start with Kristen this time.
I mean, it's just going to be Harloff until he makes a spot. But like, that's not being mean. That's how my ranking is.
Yeah, I actually agree with you because I went Harloff again. Manning?
See, I just realized what person on here has not won a title. It's Bibbs. I saw that eye roll.
Chance, who do you have?
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Right.
He's scared.
Okay, well, I'm ready now. So I had someone else written down, and I somehow missed this person. Yeah, Bibs.
I wish you missed that person.
So that's 2 for Harloff, 2 for Bibs. JDH, who are you going for?
I went completely different from everybody else. I said Jason Inman.
Chris, who are you going for?
I went JTE. Oh wait, he's already on there.
Sorry, I was like,
Pick again.
Snyder.
So we've got a tie between Harloff and Bibs. So
JT and Clark have to change the votes.
So JDH, Harloff or Bibs at 10?
What if they tie? What do we do then?
I guess we would throw it up to the chat.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to side with Chris. I'm actually going to go far off.
You don't have to ask me, Malcolm. You do not have to ask me.
So Harloff is 10.
He won 2 titles. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just they were titles.
It's the game. You're right.
The old format. Sorry.
Yeah. He just.
So voting on number 9.
Oh wait, who made it? Oh, JT, Harloff. Okay, whatever.
Harloff is 10. Yeah.
Yep.
Well then.
So 9.
This is
Okay. That's easy. Are we ready?
Yep.
Yep. Chris, who do you have at 9?
Justice Inman himself.
JTH?
Okay, Jason Inman.
Chance?
Bibs.
Manning?
He hasn't won one yet. Bibs.
Are you kidding me? Kristen.
No.
Kristen.
Bibiani. I love you, Bibs. But
Well, she said Bibiani, not Bibs. I think we should actually take this into account. They voted for literally
because
a
I know how to
character
spell
named
his full name.
Their votes should not count.
This is going to put it in an awkward situation because I've got an Inman.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Oh,
You go by record at that point.
Everybody in the chat, first person that puts one of those 2 names in the chat is number 9.
Wait a minute.
That's terrible.
Okay.
Wait. That's no.
I did it.
Chat.
Yes, I did it. Take 3 said Jason Inman first.
No.
Oh my gosh. No, but
yes.
Paul Oyama was in
Paul
before you
Oyama
and
got
said Bibs.
He did. Bibs. Wait.
I got a lot of Bibs.
I might.
I got a lot of Bibs.
Oh, my phone died.
Brienne actually says Inman, so.
I mean, we'll throw it to the Kevin
players know more
DeGraff.
than anything.
Should we throw it to Kevin DeGraff as our tiebreaker?
No, not Kevin. Not
Evan
Kevin.
says Inman. He's the Take 3 member.
What does Kevin say?
Oh.
I mean, for me, it's hard to put anyone who hasn't won a belt above someone
Malcolm,
else.
Malcolm, I've won a belt.
Evan
Do
said
I have a
Jason
count for 2?
Inman.
Yeah,
Me
there's a
and
lot
Paul
of.
Oyama both won belts, so do our votes count for more?
There is a lot more people saying Inman than Bibs in the chat, so I'll say Inman goes 9.
Yeah, wow.
Trek should have had 2 belts, so we'll just leave it. Should have had Trek and then he would have had Nergeekdom. That's fine.
Oh, come on, me, Paul Oyama, and Michael Campbell all say Bibs. So.
And Brian actually brings up a good point. By that logic, Cushing should be lower.
Cushing, it doesn't. There's no logic of revolving around Rachel Cushing.
Yeah, there was no logic.
I'm trying to get Bibs on first, then I'll get the Cushing.
That's not gonna happen.
Chance has an agenda.
It's not gonna happen.
Chris did the same thing.
I don't have an agenda. I'm unbiased.
None of us have an agenda, obviously.
Well, yeah, not. Right. No agenda. No agenda
this
whatsoever.
Chat gets Bibs to
We all
1.
don't have a.
What if this chat gets Bibs to 1?
Yeah, I'm out of people who are left. I don't see Bibs becoming number 1. So Chance, who did you put at 8?
I keep trying, Bibiani.
Manning?
Bibs. I'm
JDH?
gonna go. It doesn't happen this time.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you.
I'm sorry, Chris. I gotta go with Bibiani now.
Chris?
Cushing.
Oh, you mother.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Kristen,
Bibiani, but I drew a smiley face and a flower for you to make it feel better for
I
you.
mean,
Oh, yeah. I'll gladly do that.
I said McReaney's, but Bibiani gets 8, sadly.
Can we do this again? Like, can we just do this? Like, this is bullshit.
It's probably going to come to the same result, Chris. So.
Can we take a vote from the chat? Like, was that...
No, we cannot.
Not a tie this time. 7. And just remind people who we've got left. We've got Roker, Cushing, Sam, Jeff, Drew, Wiley, and Merle.
Whose is it? Oh, I see.
We're writing.
I haven't said any.
Okay, I'm gonna keep mine.
So, Kristen.
I have McWeenie as my next.
I also have McWeenie. Manning, who did you say?
I also have McWeenie.
Chance?
Cushing.
JTH.
Mark Yodi Riley.
Oh.
That closes it.
I have Cushing.
Yeah, McWeenie is 7.
McWeenie. Yeah.
See, he's been dominant in teams, but not so much singles, and that's one thing. Rachel hasn't won. She's
We're up
also
to number
been...
6.
Yep. Right. I will start this one off. I've Jeff Snyder. Kristen.
I have Mark Riley.
Manning.
Don't tell Matt.
I have Schneider.
Chance.
Cushing.
JDH.
Riley.
And Chris, who did you say? So that's 3 votes for Riley.
Ow!
Wow.
Brand says Coons will only be happy with Riley at number 1.
Wow.
That is accurate. Right. Top 5. Out of the 5.
Matt's going to be so mad at us.
Yep.
We didn't even include any team action people.
They're on my list, but they haven't won yet.
Yeah. Yep. Who do you have for number 5 there, Chris?
I had Cushing.
JEH.
Jeff Snyder.
Chance.
Cushing.
Manning.
Schneider.
Kristen.
I have Snyder.
And I also have Snyder.
Wow.
Jeff. Below Rachel Cushing. Wow, she's aiming high. Love Rachel to death. But no way she's above number 8.
I completely disagree with you, obviously.
You're just saying that because of who's in it right now.
Yeah, actually, there should be somebody else in this list, and I didn't play the game correctly.
I agree with Brienne in the chat. It's not always about winning.
It's about
sending a message. It's from the Dark Knight.
Exactly. That's why Bibb should be at number 1.
Thanks, Joker.
Because he sends the best message.
Thank you, Brienne. Sending a message.
Clearly, Kristen is making amends with what she said and thinks that Bibb should be higher because she's agreeing with Brienne.
No, I'm saying that because people are going to be mad at my placement for the Final Four.
Yeah, so, Kristen, who do you have at number 4?
John, don't kill me, but I have Roka.
Oh, wow.
Chris, who do you have at number 4?
Oh, I have Roka too. I just didn't write it down.
That's fine. JDH, who do you have at 4?
Please don't hate me, Rachel, but I gotta put you at 4.
Chance, who do you have?
Come back to me.
Can we do that? Wait, can we do that?
I just did it, so yeah.
Okay, well, I had Cushing. It pains me. But...
I've also got Roka.
So, Chance is the deciding factor here. It's either
Cushing.
He's been saying Cushing for like 10 spots. Which is impossible because there's not.
I host a show like this, so I got to my guns.
I can't believe this.
So chat, who do you think? Rachel or John Roka at 4?
Brienne, what do you think?
Yeah.
The players know best.
So Paul Oyama says that Evan should delete his account. Anything that says that is 100% for me. Yeah, the next one's pretty easy now that Rachel is.
Yeah. Out of the 4 people that have said something, it's going to be Rachel. There's more Rachels. Brienne's the only one that said Roka, but so Rachel was 4.
I agree with Brienne in all things.
This top 3 is hard, but
she knows.
That's right. Rachel will be with number 1 one day. I'm for sure of that.
I have my number 3. Let's go to our number 3s now.
Yep. So, Kristen?
I still have Roka. He's not happy about it, but I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be happy about it either.
I'm sorry, Roka, but yeah, I said you too. Benning?
I have Merle. Only 1-1.
Yeah.
Only 1-1.
Chance, who do you have?
Roka.
JTH?
I have Jane Fonda.
Oh. See, Roka's won team and singles.
It's funny because I would have gone Merle. I would have gone Merle too.
So Roka is in number 3. Now, I'm number 2 is also going to cement number 1. So
should we just vote for number 1?
So just vote on number 1.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta change mine then.
Let's vote number 1.
Oh wow, we have 2 choices for number 1, and I actually don't agree with either of them.
That's because you were dropped on your head as a child, I think.
That happened because I was impersonating Humpty Dumpty. That did not happen under any other circumstance.
Please say this video.
So, Chris, who do you think?
I got Merle. Merle.
What?
What was that?
I was trying to impersonate me getting bonked on the head because I was acting like Humpty Dumpty. But that was terrible.
JTH, who should be number 1?
Dangerous Dan Merle.
Yep.
That's the thing I know where you're going, but who say it anyway?
What a baby. Damn Merle.
Manning?
The Inglorious one. He has 2 belts.
Kristen?
Sam fucking Levine.
Yeah, very interesting predicament because I also put Sam.
I'm sorry. Who destroyed Sam Levine in a one-on-one right after winning the belt back?
Yeah.
Who has
damn.
2 belts right now?
Who has 2 belts? And who's only had 1 belt and did poorly in teams when they had team champs?
One person only played well in 1 league, and the other person has 2 belts.
Wait, can I change my vote? Because I
No.
can't. No.
But yes.
But
no.
I kind of think because I completely forgot that Bibb said that he was his avatar going to us, so I should have fucking said Sam.
Man.
I think I know where the chat's going, but chat, who do you say?
I would have totally said Sam if I was thinking clearly, but I wasn't.
That's just chat.
I haven't been thinking clearly this entire stream. It's looking like I'm seeing.
There's only one way to settle this. SCHMOEDOWN live event in September.
I'm seeing a lot of Sam. I'm seeing a lot of Sam.
I'm seeing even. I'm seeing even.
Who's the biggest? Who's the biggest proponent?
Evan said
Japanese
Sam.
there.
Evan said Sam. Since he's a Take 3 member, he said Sam.
I see. Polyam said Dan.
Forgot
Michael
about
Campbell said Dan.
But Banana Backstabber said Levine as well, and he has his banana in his name.
Jay Oliveria also said Sam. Chase Gaia said Sam. Polyama said Sam.
No, Polyam said Dan. Polyam said Dan.
No, sorry. Mag something said Sam.
Yeah, I'm seeing
It's pretty split.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Levine has
Price.
1, 2, 3, 4 letters in his name. Sam, and then Levine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 10 letters. He has 10 letters in his name. There's 10 people, but Dan Merle has 1, 2, 3, and then Merle is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Has
Dan
10.
also.
Never mind.
That didn't solve anything.
That didn't solve anything.
I mean, Brienne is going Sam as well, and
Yeah, okay.
my thing is, you have someone who is right now dominant in 2 leagues, and someone who is dominant in 1 league. I think Dan Merle, prior to Sam having both belts, was my number 1. It's hard for me to not include Sam as number 1.
And I think Sam.
Sam 1.
Sam number 1. Merle 2.
And Sam is Bibbs' avatar.
Brienne does bring up a good point. Sam's won the last 13 out of 14 matches he's been in, so I think
That's
insane. When Dan comes back in the league and owns everyone again, then he'll go back to being number 1.
When Dan gets his belt back.
So
sure.
our final 12 is right there on the stream, Malcolm.
Yep. So that brings the list to the end, which it was a pretty heated debate at times.
That last one.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
the worst.
And I mean, there's definitely some big people missing from there, like Clark Wolf
and Robert Meyer Burnett.
Yes.
Which Robert Meyer Burnett is number 0. I'm putting it right here. Robert Meyer Burnett. He is above all.
Wow.
You can't spell his name right.
Who's Robert Meyer
Oh
Burnett?
God! Don't ignore
You also
that.
didn't spell Merle right either. We'll just put that out there.
Oh wait, how do you spell Myrtle?
Merle, you just need an extra L.
Oh, okay, I got it. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
But the second L is silent. Everyone knows that.
Oh, it's
So,
oh wow! So both of the champions or former champions have a letter that's silent. Mer la la la.
It's not Merle.
Oh wait, that's in lowercase L too. That looks
I'm
terrible.
so confused about what's going on right now.
Well, it's
So-
Robert Meyer Burnett's at number 0 because he got fucked over, which
yeah.
means that nobody voted for him, which means that he was left to the end.
So yeah, our top.
Because that's how it works.
So yeah, our top 12 is Brienne Chandler at number 12, JT at 11, Christian Harloff at 10, Jason Inman at 9, William Bibiani at 8, Drew McGreeny at 7, Mark Riley at 6, Jeff Snyder at 5, Rachel Cushing at 4, John Roker at 3, Dan Merle at 2, and Sam Levine at number 1.
And at number 0
And apparently
is Robert Meyer Burnett, which now Brienne's like mind is blown that she didn't think we had room to put the number 0 at the top, but I made room.
Yeah, as soon as she says that, she's put no. And she's
No.
and Brienne is just dropped in the chat that she's going to be at this the kind of funny funhouse match.
Woo! Yay!
Oh, that's awesome. That's an exclusive.
That's awesome.
At the desk.
Cannot wait
Perfect.
for that.
Aw, she took time out of her day to watch us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brandon. You're amazing.
She is the coolest.
She's awesome.
So that brings us to the end of Rankum. It was a pretty hard-fought discussion for the most part. I mean, like, it's not that we're saying like the people that we left off aren't good. It's just that when you have to pick 12 out of however many competitors there actually are, especially if you're looking at the people who are in teams who haven't done singles yet. So, I mean, there's no one that I actually disagree with being in the top 12. I mean, but, and I mean, as I said, like, as Kristen said, like, Harloff creating it, yes, it doesn't, he does have some success, but I mean, it's one of those ones that, like, if you're taking all the factors around, because I mean, the way I did my nominations, I'd looked at sort of every sort of factor, like stats, and then anything behind the scenes that they do. I mean, which is why I kind of had him sort of just on my list and no more. But yeah, he got a little bit higher. But I mean, it is what it is, and now time to find out where we can find people. Start with our guests. Chance, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Lots of stuff. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChanceWars_91. You can find me at Full Metal Media, where I do a very similar show to this, but I do it in 5's, and I do it in odd quantity, so stuff like this doesn't happen. You can also find me at my YouTube channel at Chance the Critic.
JDH, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Well, first of all, I think the moral of this story is Christian Harloff, Merle Levine 2 Showdown Live event, which I will happily announce that I'm actually going to be there. I'm going to actually fly 2,500 miles to see Dan Merle whip somebody. And if it happens to be Sam Levine, more power to him. But,
hopefully I can do the same thing.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at WWEJTH1, and you can follow me, Jeremy Hastings, on Facebook and wherever else you may find me.
And Manning, where can people find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, you can find me at Cine_Man, that's CINE_MANN, as well as here on Take 3 various times, various reactions, summits, whenever you get a chance and I'm not working, because, you know, work has to happen so I can get money. Yay! But no, you'll see me around.
Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me hitting myself a lot because I should have challenged and had Rob should have been on this list. It would have been the best moment ever, and you guys would have totally put him at like number 5 or something. But that's beside the point. The chat would have been backed me up on that. But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChrisClark8788. Those numbers mean nothing. I'm confusing Kristen Harloff right now. Not Kristen Harloff. Just call me that. Whoops. This makes up for no summit today. No summit this week. But you know what? It's cool. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on. But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, ChrisClark8788. Those numbers mean nothing. This Wednesday, you will be able to see The Greatest Showman. It was a long episode in the making. It's just a lot of factors happened. So it will be up this Wednesday with Breanne Chandler, John Roca, Pat Campbell, Taylor Robinson, and Evan, and all the belts. But Evan is there too, and he causes a lot of chaos. So make sure to check that out. Bada bing, bada boom. And every Saturday, obviously, I produce the SCHMOEDOWN Rundown. You know what that is. So boom. I can't believe this just happened right now.
We can people find you online.
You can find me at Kristen Harloff on Twitter. I'm just joking.
I mean, he's not verified, so you very well could be.
Hey, take it, grab
it. You can find me, as always, Smith_K10, the number, not the word, on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust, where I'll be making apologies to any SCHMOEDOWN competitors that I talked sass about during this episode, because I love them all and they're all amazing people. You can also find me hosting the summit, where I'll probably apologize more for talking smack about competitors every week, except this week where I had stuff to do because, you know, adulting and stuff. Right here on Take 3. And yeah, great.
Before somebody in the chat just said that they'd love to see this again, Malcolm, with top 12 entertaining competitors. So good suggestion there.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that on the list. And you can find me doing this. Well, not the same category, because if we keep making this, we'll probably end up the same all the time. But with a different topic, and I'll put up a poll shortly after we're done here with 5 topics I've got on my list, and whatever one gets the most votes, it will be the one that we do next week. But yeah, you can find me hosting this again, and you can also find me on Worldwide Movie Games, competing in trivia, and with me and Manning are up against the oncoming storm, which we will turn into just a wee small rain shower. So I mean, so
Not to bring
Jeff,
our own maelstrom.
I can't remember who his partner is, but yeah, but yeah, and until next time, see you later.